This is a design that I had been asked to do, and this is pretty intricate through here. So what I did is I digitized half of it and then used mirror image to get the other side. Well, when it sewed out, I'm going to turn on the color changes, stops, and trims. Even though I have it all in one color on screen, I believe it's going to stop. It is. See, it's stopping pretty often. And by having it sew one side and then the other, I risk the fabric shifting on me and these not lining up properly. We'll keep running this for a minute. So you can see kind of what a mess I had created for myself trying to save some steps. So it sewed this entire section and then went back to this. And then it did the bottom one. This I never could figure out how to make join into it at the same time that these other pieces are sewing, because it's going on top of these two pieces, and I want that. I want it to go on top. And let's speed that up. And it's stopping for the trim that will come up. So what I did to fix this, I opened up my colors in my color object list so that I could see the different components, and then I started by assigning colors to the mirror image, and that way I could combine them into a segment before going on to the next. Now let's see if I can run back through my undos, see if I'm going the right direction. So I selected from the color object list these and then move them together, and then use the branching to join that together. Let's continue through. You can see the others. That ended up being the one that I couldn't get to connect to anything else, simply because where I want it to sit in the design. Those I combined, that I combined, actually branched them together. This was a wayward one. I do not know where it came from, so that was deleted. But here I was trying to make that work out in sequence with the others, but it ended up being on top as a final. And here I created a run stitch to come from the key section into this first heart that's going to begin. Just kind of retracing my steps for you so you can see what I was doing, what I was thinking. This is where I deleted that one pretty quick. That branching tool is really remarkable. You do have to be careful because it will resequence things within the shape that may not suit you. Here it changed my stitch direction. You can see that. But I was able to go in and fix that just by adding a few stitch directional lines. I had a stitch going over this, didn't I, that would have to be trimmed. Still playing with it, trying to get it to do what I want. And what I was doing was, this represents the branching. And so as I would get a section sewing in the order that I want, I would branch it together. And here I was finally getting down to where I was going to be pleased with the color. And that got us to our final project. So now when I sew it out, we're going to use the slow redraw. Sew cleaner on your sewing machine, faster as well. And I ended up with one corner that I couldn't work myself out of, but this is pretty much how it will sew, so that it's continuous and it flows nicely. This eliminates a lot of your trims on your machine. So there's my one trim, and there's my little corner I couldn't work myself out of, but that's not too bad. Um, and then we have your lettering, and the font really helped. And of course, where it jumps across, it's going to stop again. And you're not going to see that. It's going to be seamlessly as the machine trims and then moves forward. I run it in a stitch player so that I can see where my trouble spots are. And that's not a trouble, that's just because we don't really want a trailing stitch going across there. We can stand these small ones because they really won't be seen. The uh, density of the letter is going to kind of hide that. It'll just kind of bury itself. But I really don't want you to have to trim across there, so that's why that's there. Thanks for looking.